Welcome to our exploration of the profound emotional impacts that arise when someone you care about suddenly disappears from your life. This phenomenon highlights the undeniable power of absence, shaping our emotional landscapes in ways we often overlook. When someone vanishes, it serves as a stark reminder of personal boundaries and the self-worth we sometimes neglect. The space they leave behind is not just an empty void. It's a profound disruption of our emotional equilibrium. The strength of our relationships can be gauged by the depth of our reactions to such disappearances. Whether it's a friend, partner, or family member, their absence resonates deeply, forcing us to confront our values and the significance of emotional connections. In this moment of silence, we begin to realize how intertwined our lives are, and how much we truly depend on each other for emotional support and fulfillment. Absence, as painful as it may be, can also be a catalyst for personal growth and introspection, urging us to reevaluate our priorities and establish healthier boundaries moving forward. Imagine the moment you realize that someone you deeply cared about has simply vanished from your life. The initial shock is often a jarring experience, leaving you in a state of disbelief. You find yourself replaying the last moments spent together, questioning if there were any signs you missed. This emotional turmoil is characterized by a profound sense of confusion. How could they just leave? Did I say something wrong? The mind races, struggling to make sense of what feels like an abrupt ending to a chapter you thought was ongoing. This feeling of rejection doesn't just sting. It disrupts your sense of control and security. You begin to doubt your worth, wondering if you were ever really valued in the relationship. The implications of this emotional upheaval extend beyond mere sadness. They can lead to a cascade of negative thoughts and feelings about yourself. It's a harsh reminder that connections can be fragile, and the pain of rejection can linger long after the initial shock fades. In these moments, it's crucial to recognize that this emotional chaos, while painful, is a part of your journey towards understanding your own self-worth. The psychological implications of feeling rejected can be profound and far-reaching. When someone we care about disappears, it disrupts our sense of control and security in our lives. This sense of rejection can trigger feelings of inadequacy, leading to an internal narrative that questions our self-worth. We might find ourselves replaying past interactions, wondering if we did something wrong or if we were never good enough to begin with. This self-doubt can manifest in various ways, from anxiety and depression to a crippling fear of future relationships. It forces us to grapple with the uncomfortable reality that our emotional well-being was tied to someone else's presence. Furthermore, the absence can evoke a sense of vulnerability, as we are left exposed to our own insecurities. The feeling of being abandoned can amplify our fears, making it difficult to trust others or even ourselves. As we navigate this emotional landscape, we may even become hyper-aware of how our actions affect others, leading to a deeper introspection about our relationships and our capacity for love and connection. Ultimately, this experience can serve as a catalyst for growth, pushing us to confront our fears and redefine our boundaries, reminding us that our worth is inherent and not dependent on someone else's choices. Imagine a moment when everything feels surreal, as if time stands still. You, who once filled their days with laughter and warmth, suddenly vanish. The confusion sets in, wrapping around them like a heavy fog. They replay memories, searching for clues, for signs that could explain your absence. Did they say something wrong? Was there a moment they overlooked that led to this emotional chasm? This inner turmoil is a storm of self-doubt and desperation. They might even question their worth, believing that if they were more attentive or caring, perhaps you wouldn't have left. This sense of loss is not just about you. It's about the pieces of themselves they feel were tied to you. Each memory, each shared laugh becomes a bittersweet reminder of what they took for granted. As they sit alone, grappling with these thoughts, they realize that their past interactions, once trivial, now carry a weight that is nearly unbearable. They long to understand, to make sense of this emotional upheaval. And as they do, they slowly confront the truth. They've lost something precious, something they didn't fully appreciate until it was gone. When you disappear from someone's life, the immediate aftermath is often marked by a profound sense of emptiness. This void is more than just a lack of physical presence. It's an emotional chasm that reverberates through every aspect of their daily life. They begin to realize how much they relied on your companionship for comfort, laughter, and even routine. Mundane activities like sharing a meal or a casual chat become stark reminders of your absence. It's as if the world has dimmed, and they are left grappling with a haunting silence that echoes in their mind. This sense of emptiness can be overwhelming, leading to a deep yearning for the connection that once filled their life with meaning. They may find themselves frequently replaying memories, longing for the moments that now feel distant and unattainable. It's a painful acknowledgement that they took your presence for granted. This realization can be a catalyst for deeper introspection, forcing them to confront the significance of your role in their life and how your absence has reshaped their reality. In the wake of your absence, they find themselves in a frantic search for solace, attempting to fill the overwhelming void you've left behind. Initially, they might dive into work, binge watch their favorite shows, or engage in social activities, all in a desperate bid to distract themselves from the pain of your departure. However, these distractions often serve as mere band-aids, temporarily masking the deeper emotional wounds. The laughter shared with friends feels hollow, the joy in their hobbies is fleeting, and the comfort of routine becomes a stark reminder of what's missing. Each attempt to drown out the silence only amplifies the reality that you are not there. They may even try to replicate the moments they cherished with you, but those memories only deepen their sorrow. It dawns on them that while distractions may provide temporary relief, they cannot truly replace the unique connection they had with you. This harsh realization forces them to confront the uncomfortable truth. No one can truly fill the void you've left, leaving them to grapple with their emotions amidst a sea of futile attempts at moving on. As they grapple with the profound emptiness left in your absence, a wave of realization sweeps over them. They start to recognize the small, seemingly insignificant moments that once filled their days with joy. The laughter shared over coffee, the late-night conversations that stretched into the early hours, and the comforting presence that was always just a text away. Each memory serves as a sharp reminder of the connection they took for granted, now replaced by an aching void. This absence not only highlights what they've lost, but it also prompts them to reflect on their past behavior. They confront the truth that they didn't fully appreciate your presence until it was gone. This painful realization becomes a catalyst for growth as they begin to understand the fragility of relationships and the importance of cherishing those we care about. In this moment of introspection, they are faced with an opportunity to learn, to grow, and ultimately to transform their understanding of love and companionship. When someone we care about suddenly disappears from our lives, a storm of emotions often brews within us, and one of the most profound feelings that emerges is an unrelenting curiosity. This curiosity becomes a consuming force, driving us to obsess over the details of their absence. We start to question everything. What are they doing? Who are they with? Are they happy without us? Our minds race with possibilities, each thought more tantalizing than the last. As we navigate through our days, the gap they left behind feels monumental, and our imagination fills that void with scenarios we create. Social media becomes our battleground. We find ourselves scrolling endlessly through their posts, searching for clues that might unveil their current state of being. We might even reach out to mutual friends, probing them for information, desperate for a glimpse into their world. This urge to uncover the truth often leads to a sense of helplessness, as we realize that our attempts to know more only amplify our feelings of loss and confusion. What once was a simple relationship now morphs into a complex web of questions, fueling our anxiety and longing. In this quest for answers, we may lose sight of our own lives, fixating on someone who has chosen to step away. It's a paradox. The more we seek to understand their absence, the deeper we plunge into our own emotional turmoil. This curiosity, while natural, reveals the depth of our attachment and the challenges we face in letting go, making the journey even more painful as we wrestle with our feelings and the stark reality of their silence. In the throes of your absence, their curiosity morphs into an obsessive quest for information about your life. They may find themselves scrolling through your social media profiles, dissecting every post and photo for clues about your current state. Each like, comment, and share feels like a breadcrumb, leading them further down a rabbit hole of speculation and hope. They might even reach out to mutual friends, casually probing for updates, all while masking their true intentions behind a veil of casual interest. This need for answers creates an emotional roller coaster. One moment they feel a flicker of hope, and the next they're overwhelmed by despair at the realization of your absence. It's a relentless cycle of seeking closure, trying to piece together the narrative of your life without them. This compulsion to know what you are doing not only highlights their emotional turmoil, but also underscores their fear of being forgotten, as they grapple with the reality that your life continues to unfold, even in their absence. In the wake of your absence, a profound journey of self-reflection begins. The person left behind is thrust into a whirlwind of thoughts as they sift through memories and moments shared, confronting the choices they made. They might start by revisiting the laughter and the mundane conversations that once filled their days. Each recollection is tinged with a bittersweet nostalgia as they grapple with the realization that they might have taken those interactions for granted. This period is often marked by a deep sense of introspection, where they question their behavior and priorities in the relationship. They may wonder if their actions contributed to your departure, and this sparks a cascade of emotions ranging from guilt to regret. It's in these silent moments of contemplation that they begin to understand the importance of valuing connections and the fragility of relationships. This self-examination can lead to significant personal growth as they start to recognize the aspects of themselves that need nurturing. They realize that true fulfillment comes not just from external connections, but from a deeper understanding of their own needs and values. This journey of self-reflection serves as a crucial turning point, urging them to embrace change and strive for improvement in their future relationships. As the realization of their neglect settles in, they find themselves grappling with a heavy burden of regret. It's a profound moment of clarity where they confront the truth. They took you for granted. This weight of regret isn't just about the absence of your presence, but also about the missed opportunities, the unspoken words, and the moments that could have deepened the bond. They reflect on how they overlooked the small things, the laughter shared, and the support you offered. This reflection is a catalyst for growth. It pushes them to reassess their values and priorities. They begin to understand that meaningful connections require effort, appreciation, and reciprocity. The pain of this realization can be a powerful motivator, inspiring them to evolve and strive for better relationships in the future. It's a bittersweet awakening that, while painful, carries the potential for personal growth and transformation. As the dust settles from your absence, a profound shift begins to occur within them. Initially caught in a whirlwind of self-reflection, they start to realize how much they miss you. The emotional weight of your departure propels them into a desperate need to reconnect. It's a curious transition from introspection to action. They find themselves weighing the pros and cons of reaching out, battling the fear of rejection once more. Memories flood their mind, reminding them of laughter shared, secrets whispered, and moments that seemed trivial but were in fact the fabric of their bond. Each memory ignites a longing that's hard to ignore. The urge to send a casual text or comment on a post becomes almost unbearable. They may rehearse their words in front of a mirror, pondering how to convey their feelings without sounding overly vulnerable. This desire to rekindle the relationship is not just about you, it's a reflection of their growth. They start to understand the importance of taking responsibility for their actions and the impact of their choices. In this moment of clarity, they realize that reaching out could be the first step toward mending what was once broken, the bridge to reestablishing a connection that meant so much to them. But with every thought, they struggle with uncertainty, wondering if you'll even respond. Will you reciprocate their feelings? Or has the distance created a chasm that's too wide to cross? This internal battle rages on, driving them to the brink of action, fueled by a mixture of hope and fear, a testament to the depth of their emotional journey since your disappearance. As the desire to reconnect intensifies, they may find themselves crafting the perfect message, one that feels casual yet loaded with meaning. A simple, "Hey, how have you been?" could be their first step, a tentative exploration of whether there's still a bridge left to cross. They might scroll through their phone, hesitating over your name, wondering if you'd respond positively or if the silence would echo back. Social media could become their playground, where they carefully observe your posts, analyzing every word and image, searching for clues about your life without them. Every like, every comment from others might spark jealousy or longing, and they might even consider commenting just to catch your attention. In their mind, they're strategizing, weighing the risks of reaching out against the potential rewards of rekindling what was lost. Each moment spent pondering this connection reinforces their emotional vulnerability, reminding them of the bond they once cherished and the fear of it being truly gone forever. In the aftermath of your absence, a complex emotional landscape unfolds within them. Initially, there's a surprising sense of relief. The chaos of the relationship has faded, offering a momentary escape from the tension that once lingered. However, this relief is short-lived, as it quickly transforms into a profound sense of regret. They find themselves grappling with a haunting realization. The comfort they once had has been replaced by an unsettling void. The silence that follows your disappearance amplifies their feelings of loss, forcing them to confront the emotional connection they took for granted. As days turn into weeks, the initial relief morphs into a longing for the intimacy and understanding that characterized your bond. This internal tug-of-war creates a dissonance within them, where the desire to move on clashes with the yearning to rekindle what was lost. They realize that this absence is not merely a physical departure, but an emotional one, leaving them to reflect on the fragility of relationships and the importance of cherishing those they hold dear. In the throes of their internal struggle, a profound longing emerges, one that reveals the depth of their emotional connection to you. As they sift through their feelings, they grapple with the dichotomy of relief and regret. This relief, initially a fleeting sense of freedom, quickly morphs into a haunting realization of the emotional void left in your absence. They find themselves yearning for the laughter, the shared moments, and the comfort of your presence. This longing is not merely about missing you. It's about recognizing the value you brought into their life. With every passing day, the echoes of what once was grow louder, forcing them to confront the emotional connection they once took for granted. In this poignant moment of clarity, they come to understand that what they truly miss is not just you, but the bond that enriched their life in ways they had failed to appreciate. This struggle becomes a catalyst for growth, pushing them to reevaluate their feelings and ultimately leading to a deeper understanding of themselves and their desires for connection. In the wake of your absence, they may resort to emotional manipulation as a misguided attempt to regain control over the situation. This could manifest in various ways, such as posting happy photos on social media, showcasing a seemingly perfect life without you, or even trying to make you feel jealous by flaunting new connections. These tactics stem from a deep-seated need to provoke a reaction, to remind you of what you're missing, and to stir feelings of regret within you. However, this strategy often backfires. You, in your newfound emotional independence, remain unfazed by their attempts. Instead of drawing you back in, their efforts may only highlight their desperation and emotional instability. The irony is that, while they seek to manipulate your feelings, they only deepen their own sense of loss and disconnection. Ultimately, this game of emotional manipulation reveals more about their own vulnerabilities than it does about your relationship, showcasing how absence can turn into a battlefield of misguided emotions. Their attempts at emotional manipulation often reveal a deeper vulnerability, showcasing the struggles they face in coping with your absence. They might engage in tactics intended to provoke a reaction from you, like sharing carefully curated posts on social media that highlight their newfound happiness or the adventures they're having without you. However, these strategies frequently backfire. Instead of drawing you back into their orbit, they find that you remain unresponsive and unaffected by their attempts. This unresponsiveness serves as a harsh reminder of the emotional distance that has grown between you two. While they seek validation through these games, they only amplify their feelings of isolation and regret. Their actions may be desperate attempts to regain a sense of control, but ultimately, they highlight the power of your absence. The silence that follows their attempts only deepens their understanding that true connection cannot be forced or manipulated. In the end, they realize that genuine relationships thrive on authenticity, not on games or facades. In the aftermath of your absence, they are left to navigate a profound silence that envelops their world. This silence is not just the absence of sound. It's a heavy, suffocating void that serves as a constant reminder of what has been lost. Each moment spent in this stillness echoes with regret, as they replay conversations and interactions in their mind, searching for clues that could explain the distance that now exists. It's in these quiet moments that the weight of their choices becomes unbearable, pressing down on their chest like an anchor. They realize that the laughter, the shared dreams, and the everyday banter are all gone, leaving behind a stark reality filled with what-ifs and missed opportunities. This silence forces them to confront the consequences of their actions, making it impossible to ignore the emotional void left by your departure. In this solitude, they grapple with their emotions, struggling to accept the truth of their loss and the depth of their longing for what once was. The silence that envelops them is not just an absence of sound. It's a profound void that speaks volumes about the weight of their choices. Each moment of quiet serves as a stark reminder of the conversations they once took for granted, the laughter that filled the air, and the warmth of your presence that now feels like a distant memory. It's in this silence that they begin to confront the reality of their actions. The echoes of their past mistakes reverberate in their minds, forcing them to acknowledge the hurt they may have caused. This uncomfortable stillness can be both a blessing and a curse, offering them a chance for introspection while simultaneously deepening the ache of loss. As they sit with their thoughts, they realize that this silence is a powerful teacher, urging them to reflect on their relationships and the value of emotional connections. It's a painful yet necessary journey towards understanding the consequences of their indifference and the importance of cherishing the bonds they once had. In this heavy silence, they learn that sometimes the loudest messages come from the quietest moments. As the realization dawns, a profound fear creeps in, the chilling thought that you might be gone for good. This fear isn't just about losing someone, it's about facing the emptiness that follows in their absence. It grips the heart, tightening around the chest like a vice, suffocating any glimmer of hope. They start to question everything. Was it something they said? Something they did? The mind spirals into a chaotic loop of what-ifs, creating a narrative that amplifies their distress. They might find themselves replaying every moment, every conversation, desperately searching for signs that could explain your departure. This fear is not just a fleeting thought. It morphs into a consuming force, pushing them toward desperate measures. They might consider reaching out, sending messages filled with vulnerability, or even resorting to grand gestures to reclaim what they've lost. However, this vulnerability lays bare their emotional state, showcasing just how deeply they value the connection that now hangs by a thread. In their pursuit to win you back, they may resort to desperate measures, revealing their emotional vulnerability. This fear of permanent loss drives them to act impulsively, whether it's sending heartfelt messages, attempting to rekindle old connections, or even engaging in grand gestures meant to capture your attention. They may reminisce about shared memories, trying to evoke feelings that once flourished between you. This longing often clouds their judgment, making them overlook the reasons for your absence. They might believe that by expressing their emotions or demonstrating how much they've changed, they can somehow reverse the clock. Yet this frantic need to reconnect stems not just from a desire for you, but from a deep-seated fear of being alone, of facing a future without the emotional safety net you once provided. In this moment, they are grappling with the realization that love cannot be coerced, and that true connection requires mutual respect and understanding, not desperation. As we conclude this exploration of profound emotions experienced by those left behind, it's essential to recognize the significance of self-worth and emotional independence. The journey through rejection, loss, and longing can be painful, yet it serves as a catalyst for personal growth. Embracing emotional independence means understanding that our value does not solely depend on the relationships we hold, but also on the relationship we cultivate with ourselves. This experience highlights the importance of setting healthy boundaries, nurturing self-respect, and acknowledging our intrinsic worth. Through this process, we learn to appreciate not just the connections we have, but also the strength within us to stand alone. Ultimately, valuing ourselves enables us to forge deeper, more authentic relationships in the future, free from the shadows of past dependency. Let's embrace this newfound understanding and step into our lives with confidence, knowing we are enough, just as we are.